Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I'm revisiting the water bottle here, revisiting a topic I've talked about before in other videos, but I think it's something that comes up a lot and people give me a lot of questions about. And let's just get into it. If you date your ex again, what to do? And this question doesn't have a one-size-fits-all. This question isn't one of those ones that, okay, do exactly this, but if I gave you a short answer to the question, it would be the top of this. Have a good time, don't bring up the past, and just reconnect at your own pace. Keep things light and don't be overly available. And don't ask if she's seeing someone else, or if it's a woman out there, if he's seeing someone else. This comes up a lot. People come back to me after we've done live coachings over the breakup and they're dating again. And again and again and again and again, the thing that comes up over and over again is they want to know who they've been with, what they've been doing. And it really kills all attraction and connection when you start to redate your ex. So what I want to get into today is get some of your guys' opinions out there, because this is a live stream. But also, you do want to be completely honest with yourself if you're carrying ill feelings for the breakup. Okay. Nav 34D, how you doing, bud? Been a while. How you doing? I'm doing excellent. Thanks for asking. And you? Hope you're well, bud. If you have anything to chime in about this topic, if you date your ex again, what to do? Any questions about that topic or any past experiences you want to share? Because I'll get into that. So like I said, be completely honest with yourself. Are you carrying ill feelings from the breakup? So a lot of times you revisit things, your ex calls you up, something comes about. Sometimes people call it breadcrumbs. Some other people call it, oh, she just hit me up. What should we do next? If you're feeling really uneasy and really nervous and really uncomfortable, you need to take a step back and assess why you're really uncomfortable and nervous. Because going into that next date or meetup, I don't even know if you'd call it a date, because a lot of times your ex, I think especially when it's a woman as your ex, they will try to take away the title that it's a date. Oh, let's just meet and have coffee and catch up, right? Or something like that. And you don't want to immediately put labels on it and make it a bigger thing than it is. Because like I said, when you want to reconnect with someone in your date, let's say you look at your relationship before you were boyfriend and girlfriend and when you first dated. Someone just sent me an email, I believe it was, or a story, and he said, in the beginning, it started off light and fun. That's exactly how you want to start off your dates, right? Light and fun, right? No expectations, have a good time, connect, have a good conversation, see if you guys have some similarities and some common ground. You know what I'm saying? But you go into it when it's your ex, and it's like, no, we're not friends. We're not going to do this dating game. You're either in or you're out. And I think there's a place for that, but it's not very often. And you got to reconnect on a whole nother level. And part of reconnecting is revisiting who you are in the beginning of dating. So do you really want to know if they've been with someone else? This comes up a lot. I've had numerous clients that contact me back and they're like, yeah, we hooked up, everything went great. And then the next day I had to ask her, had she been with someone else? And she immediately said, well, why are you asking me that? Well, I just want to know. And then it goes back and forth, back and forth. Finally, she goes, yeah, I hooked up with someone from work. And the guy just goes nuts, kills the whole thing. And it's like, well, I mean, if you guys have been broken up for a month, 2 months, if you want to call it a rebound, if you want to call it bad behavior, whatever, it's their prerogative. It's up to them when they've been broken up, right? So if you're going to go into it and you're going to be worried about that kind of stuff, and that's, you know what, I understand that. I understand that you'd be worried if they've been with someone else before. But the minute you ask that and you put them on blast or you put them in a situation where they're in a corner, it usually kills a lot of stuff moving forward, because you create a level of shame a lot of times. I mean, someone will just go, you know what? Yeah, I hooked up with someone. Like if it was me at this point in my life and I was in a breakup and we revisited things, I would be able to confidently be like, yeah, I did hook up with someone. if you want to deal with it, you can. If you don't, I'm not going to answer a bunch of questions about it, though, because when you're broken up, it's your right to do that. So that's a big one that comes up, though, in dating. So let me look at some of these questions, comments. James Kavanaugh, thank you kindly, bud. I feel like most times, or at least in my case, I go through so much anger and get over the person, I just can't go back. It's like, what was the whole point of going through the breakup? Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, you bring up an interesting point, James, because the timing of the redate or revisiting dating counts. I think a lot of times within that first 2 months, sometimes people get back to someone got lonely, no contact, took effect, someone called you up, and then you go out, it's been 3 weeks, it's been a month, you hook up instantly, but are the problems gone? That's the question. If it's been 4 or 5 months, I think if it's going to be revisited, it just matters how long it took for the smoke to clear is what I say. And that has to do probably with, if you've been together 10 years, it's going to take a lot longer, and the severity of the problems that you have. So been in the situation quite a bit. The first meetup always ended in us sleeping together. That connection was still really strong. Attraction. So like I always say, attraction, trust, and connection are the pillars of relationships. And you can have one of them and not have the other. You could have 2 of them and not have the other. If attraction is strong, in the present moment, it'll work out. But if you don't trust each other, see, that's what happens in the breakup. Is trust usually is paramount. And you get back together, you sleep together, you hook up, you have a good time, you have a good connection. And it's like, I've been seeing someone. Can I trust you? When are we getting back together? Morning from South Korea. Mac, can't stay, but wanted to say hi and show my support. Catch you next week. Well, thank you kindly, Jessica, and I wish you all the best out in South Korea. I hope you're having a good time. I'm very black and white. I knew what I wanted when I met up again. After months apart, he showed up and seemed to bring up past and was not affection. I felt hurt again and rejected. Well, you're very clear on what you want. You're very clear about the problem in the relationship. And you're saying, like, I don't want to revisit, go out again, and just go out with the same kind of person with the same problems. So you said you felt hurt again, but it's clarity. You're being honest with yourself, right? And you're being honest with him. And this idea, like, people like to say, oh, I'm wasting my time. If you revisited something and you haven't been together, and this again, it's not one size fits all. It's one of those things. It's circumstances. It's who you are. It's what you value. It's what happened in the breakup. It's what you're carrying. So there's all different scenarios and routes you can take on this. And a lot of times people will send me this message and be like, oh, my ex-client will go, okay, so if you didn't send me your story, let me know what happened in the breakup before I give you any advice, because you might be revisiting a toxic relationship. The dumper rarely goes through the level of personal development that the dumpee goes through. They don't usually feel like they have a problem to fix. So when they get back together, it's different. You know what? I've saw some cases where actually that's not 100% true, but it's mostly true, James. Where a guy broke up with his ex, and he said, we broke up over this, we broke up over that, and he's like, and then she got this better job, and she got this, so the loneliness can work out in those cases, but crisis is an opportunity. I'm just saying, James, it's not 100% true about that, but the circumstances of the situation matter, definitely. But I would say, yeah, the person that dumps the other person generally thinks that they're going to do better, that they're going to be better off. And if they don't, they usually come back for that reason. So let me revisit this topic a little bit here. Something else to consider when talking about this. Do you want an apology for something? Are you searching out an apology? So if you go into the date and you're still upset about a certain thing, so Monica, you kind of mentioned that you were hurt again and the same things happen again. You got to be honest going into the date. Are you seeking out an apology? And even if you do, has the person already apologized and you haven't fully forgave them. I've talked about this a lot. A lot of times people are looking for, someone said sorry, someone apologized, but they want more. There's only so far sorry can go in you accepting it or not accepting it. Sorry doesn't get more power by saying it 15 times. Going over the situation 10 times that you've already gone over. The amount of people that told me, yeah, they wanted to bring up the past again, or vice versa. I brought up the past again and she got really upset. It's like, yeah, well, if you've already talked about it, you've already went through that. It's like you're carrying something and you're not letting it go, and they think it's already been dealt with. Can you just date them and rebuild connection, or do you have them, or do you need, I'm sorry, bad grammar right here, I need to reread this. Do you need to have them back as an official relationship? So this is big. A lot of times people go, oh, I told them the next day, like, we need to be official. 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, that will kill things because you're putting someone in a corner. If they broke up with you or they broke up, they need a little bit of time to reassess things and see if you've made the changes that they want, or vice versa. So you have to go into that relationship without the idea of getting back officially, and being a little bit open about things, being light. Are you confident the problems that you broke up over can be fixed, can be forgiven? So going into it, do you honestly think that? If you don't, you're fighting an uphill battle from the get-go. So let's be honest about those kinds of things. Oh, hell yeah, I would want an apology. Maybe not at first, but you better believe I'd want to made it right. So, I mean, if you're going into that and you're looking for that and you don't get it, it's curtains, and you're going to be holding a little bit of contempt in your heart. It's not going to go very well, because I feel like the dumpy basically atones for their mistakes when they go no contact and start examining how they messed up. I mean, like I said, if this is about revisiting someone to date, when you're dating someone, what's your intentions? Because there is certain situations where dating, the intention is just to hook up, right? The intention is the intention is to have a good time and see what happens. The intention is not to make it your girlfriend. I mean, I don't know if I've ever started dating someone and went, I'm going to make her my girlfriend. I know there's people out there like, I knew I was going to marry her the first time I went out. I think that's kind of like a 1950s attitude, really. I think now someone goes out, if you have the attitude like, I'm going to make this person my partner, that's pretty high expectations to jump into a relationship. People will get a little uncomfortable at first, right? They want to get to know you. They really do. Checking the lights here. So let's unpack these a little bit more. So like I said, the short answer to this for me, for most people, and the reason this came up, someone had put it in the comments that I've done this story before, and he was a little worked up about meeting with his ex and reconnecting. And so when I say have a good time, don't bring up the past. Can you do that? I mean, before you meet them, can you honestly do that? And I would take it a step further. I don't even know if I'd bring up the past if it was good. Just reconnect at your own pace. Keep things light and don't be overly available. That's a big one. Hey, I'm available this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. If you ask them and they're not available for that date, say, okay, well, let me know when you're available and we can get back in contact. Don't act like, like you're so fucking desperate to meet up with them. And don't ask if she's seeing someone else or has. This is it comes up all the time. If you do it initially, then you really know. If you do it during the date, or if you had a good date, it's just really not going to serve you. Down the road, when you guys get back, if you guys get back together and you're really reconnected and you feel like it's not going to affect you too much and you want to ask that question, you can, but it is a booby trap in a lot of ways, in my opinion. Do you really want to know that is the question. Do you really want to know that? I felt invalidated. He didn't apologize. He did say he knew I was hard to find and a fabulous woman, and he liked, but no apology. This was before the meetup. During meetup, it was awful. Well, there's your clarity. You didn't get what you were looking for. and you went into it wanting to be validated. I felt invalidated. Interesting wording. I think maybe me knowing what I learned and making that known might have killed it, but I'm not fake. It's who I am. Okay. All right. Mac, I agree. You shouldn't bring the baggage from the old relationship into the new one, but let's be realistic. Both parties have to know that the issue in the old relationship have been addressed. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have that chat, right? I think if there's old baggage and you need stuff addressed in that first date, you know your partner, you know your situation, you know your story. Are you being realistic? Does that make sense? I mean, are you being realistic? I know that. What's up, Melted Blue? I know that I've seen one relationship before where basically they broke up. She left him because he was getting in a lot of trouble. They had a kid together. They were married. ... They were in their early 20s. She leaves basically because he's being a punk and getting in a lot of trouble. I think he was getting in legal trouble and stuff like that. And, didn't believe he was going to fix his problems. And 3-4 months go by with no contact. Even though they have a kid, he really kept no contact up. Showed up on his doorstep, and she was like, basically, I'm all in. And he made some changes during that time. He got his shit together, and he said, I had to make a choice if I was going to take her back or not. But they didn't bring up, like, why you left me and stuff. So Mr. Peter Roberts, I think you sent me your story. I haven't got to it yet. Denied friendship with my ex as she does want a relationship. A few days passed, and I didn't wish her happy birthday. She reached out and said, thanks for the birthday wish, asshole. I don't know why, Peter. I've been doing this for a little while now, and people are big with their exes and gray areas with relationships and not cheers for the thumbs up with happy birthdays. It's a big thing. It really surprises me, but people will get really upset, and people actually will contact me and go, I've been in no contact, but should I send them a happy birthday? So people value that in different ways. I mean, I don't look at it with my exes like, oh, they didn't send me a happy birthday. But I think that they think when you're in no contact, that's a time that you'd have a reason to contact them. And I always tell people, if you want to send a happy birthday, make sure it's just about being happy birthday. It's not about getting back together. And what does happy birthday really mean to most people? I mean, is it that when someone sends you a nice card that's kind of playful and charming with a message, that's nice. If you just say happy birthday in a text, okay. Judy Jack Burton, I got interrupted and missed part of it. Okay, well, it's basically we're talking about revisiting or dating your ex and what to do and what goes on in your own experiences. Hey, Judy, good to see you. Peter Roberts doesn't want. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean, Peter. I agree. Don't have to address the old relationship when you first reconnect, but you can't just pretend like it never happened as you keep hanging out. Yeah, that's true, James. And again, this goes back to everyone's got a unique situation with a unique set of values. But yeah, the first date, you definitely don't want to dig in there. What I would say is just, in my experience, when you are in each other's presence, you can feel if it's right. The times that I've reconnected with an ex and ended up getting back together, that initial meeting felt really nice. It was like, it wasn't like some Hollywood story where we jumped and kissed and everything like that, but you could just see the eyes lighten up and you could see like, oh, it's good to see you. You know what I mean? That like came from me, Mac. How are you doing, my friend? That like, oh, right on, Daniel. Cheers. Cheers, lad. Should I continue no contact if she doesn't want to be together? Yes. Short answer. Short question, short answer. And Peter, I'll touch on your story in a video. I think I don't know what's going on, but I've changed something in the website. And maybe some of the people that are on deck here that are regulars on this, So on my website, I can get your guys' opinion on this actually, so I'm going to change it again. You can send your story in. So in the beginning, people could send their story in, and I would respond for free on a YouTube video. But now I have what I've had over the last year, not all the time, but enough times to address it. People would see that their story was getting on YouTube, and they immediately contact me and tell me, hey, I didn't know it was going to be on YouTube. Can you take that down immediately? Or, hey, I thought you were just going to give me an email response. Well, part of the reason why I do it on YouTube, number one, it's good content for the people out there for breakups, right? Your name's not getting disclosed, number two. And I think a video response with, live human interaction is way different than an email. And I like to talk more. If I'm going to do something like that for you, I'd rather do it that way. So I did an automated email that asked people, hey, do you want this on YouTube or not? And I'd say, since I've done that, I don't know, 9 out of 10 don't respond to it. So what is that about? I want to get your guys' opinion. And then also, if you want it on YouTube, $25 charge. Now, I know a lot of people say, I don't want to pay $25. I understand that. But people aren't responding to the automated. So just to get everyone's opinion on that. So I'm going to change that in the future, I believe. It could be that we're wired right now. Anything that's automated, it's like, fuck you, right? I mean, I know a lot of times when I get an automated email from with something right away when I send something, I think that. Do you think that also, in your guys' opinion, $25 for a response on YouTube is too much? Give me your take, fellas and women. That like came from me, Mac. Okay, should I continue no contact? Answer that. Hi, Monica. Is it not awkward at first when you first meet up with your ex? Well, it's not always, and the ideal thing is for it not to be. I think that if you're feeling awkward, nervous, and uncomfortable, you can still go meet up. Definitely, this is one of those things where you need to check your feelings when you get that phone call or that text. If you're overly excited, what are you overly excited about? Are you nervous? That means you're going to want them too much. And I've even told people, if you're a little nervous, then just make sure you go exercise or go for a run first to get those nerves and jitters out. That's fine. But if you get if they contact you, you should feel like, oh yeah, let me revisit this. I mean, I've had some other people recently say like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to talk to them again. I'm like, if you're feeling in a mode where you can go into it with no expectations, be light, why not revisit them? That's the best place to be in, right? I can't even remember birthdays. I'm okay with birthdays. I'm not bad. My mother is like outstanding. Everyone of extended cousins and everyone up. She sends a birthday card for everything. Agree. I think that YouTube is beneficial for creates content for your audience. Are you okay with it being on YouTube? When I asked that, I do agree with you, Mac, about keeping a mind frame of indifference when you see them. Yeah, and that mind frame is, if it doesn't come natural, don't fight it. If you're like sitting there going, oh, I can't wait to fucking see them and ask them this, this, and this. Oh, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. If you have that attitude, I'm not sure that's going to serve you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Automated email aside, $25 is not overpriced. I don't think so, dude, because it does take. People think, oh, you only took 10 minutes. No, if I read it, take 10 minutes, I got to upload it. It takes anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, actually. Prey on how much they charge people. I listen to you because you're not like that. And the video responses, everyone can comment. Thank you. Thank you. $25. You could definitely charge more. Thanks. I'm looking at it as, this is an international channel. There's some other coaches out there, I won't say names, that are, oh, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the money. If you're charging anything, there's a part of you that's doing something for money, okay? I need to eat, sleep, and have a roof over my head. And if I want to do this long term, you have to charge money. But you want to be reasonable with people, right? You want to be reasonable. So thanks for that feedback, James, and thanks for that feedback, Judy. Because I want to get an idea from you guys. Yeah, always charge more if it's not on YouTube, Judy Jack. Sometimes there are very identifiable factors that are afraid that a person may see and know it's them. Yes, and that's my point, is that it's been like, oh, I didn't know you were going to say that I was in Seattle. I'm like, well, you wrote it. I'm not going to redo your story, right? And then they come back to me, and I took 45 minutes to do it, right? And now you're just telling me to take it down. If it's anonymous, what's the big deal? Good question, Sandra. Welcome, Sandra. You make a lot of comments. It's nice to have you on the live stream, and I agree. But like some of the stories, they are more detailed, so like people could figure it out, but that's on you when you write the story, right? But I do a private one that's $65, and people that do the private ones love them because it's more personalized. And that's why if you're going to take the next step and you want to do live coaching, you usually divulge more. Whenever you talk to anyone and you're not that comfortable yet, that's why in the live coaching, it's like both sides are always feeling each other out about how much information you want to give. And the more information you give, the more honesty you give, the more help I can help you with, right? Because sometimes, a lot of times, I'll do a take on YouTube and someone will go, well, I didn't tell you everything. Really? Well, they're never going to – most people don't like to make themselves look bad, right? Especially in public. Exactly. Who cares if it judges you? Not too much. Your advice is worth more. Thanks, Sandra. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the comments you make, Sandra, because it's still your story. And if you're being honest about your role in the relationship, there's probably a lot of embarrassing things you did. Do you really want everyone seeing that? Even if it's anonymous, you don't know how other people are going to view that, what you did. Well, you always have that choice. And that's why good point, James. Point taken. And that's why I tell people, like, are you okay with it? But people aren't responding. So in other words, like I have to take responsibility on the website and make it more clear. Yep, that's right, Sandra. There's the private option. And, like I look back on my breakup, I'm like, would I send my story in? I've noticed that, thanks, Melted Blue. I've noticed that a lot of the younger people, like in college relationships, are way more keen to just roll it out there. And then other people are like, if this is going to be on YouTube, I don't want it out there. It's like, well, because I will, if it's someone that I've worked with in the past, or some of these people from the live stream, and someone from a live coaching, we've developed a rapport and stuff, I will respond through an email and give you short answers, but not long answers. It would take too much time, and I prefer to talk. I'm audible. So have you ever took your ex back, and how did it happen? If so, did she chase you and want you back, or do you not accept second chances? LOL. Why is that funny? I wouldn't care if my story was out there. See, Daniel, you're 21. I feel like the younger people are more like that. Younger people being general, but I'm saying early 20s, which a lot of people send their stories in. Because so many people in college break up. Have you ever took your ex back? How did it happen? So, and if I'm going to talk about my own individual experiences, I don't know if I would characterize it as taking them back. Because one situation was we weren't officially together, but we were seeing each other. We were kind of off and on, and then I moved away. We went into this long distance thing, and then she basically said, you know what, I can't deal with this. So it wasn't a harsh breakup for me. It was kind of one of those things where I was like, all right, I understand completely. We had been seeing each other for, 4 or 5 months before I moved. And so she broke contact with me, but I wasn't, per se, really bent about it. And then 8 or 9 months later, she contacted me. We reconnected. Another time was I was in a relationship for about a year. Again, I guess this is a pattern. I moved away. We turned into long distance for a month, and she broke up with me. That one hurt. I went back and just revisited where we were living together just to be in each other's contact, and we immediately got back together. So it didn't feel like I was taking her back because the issue was the distance. So otherwise, I would say no. I wouldn't say I was chased. And I think second chances, it would depend on the situation. So do not accept second chances. I wouldn't say I don't accept second chances. I would just say it depends on the individual situation. And, both of those situations weren't where it was like a really bad breakup. So going into the breakup that was probably my worst, that particular one hurt. And I don't know if she would have came back. If she would have came back within 2 or 3 months, yeah, probably would have revisited. But I was in a stage where I felt so weak and upset. I would have been on eggshells the whole time. So I wouldn't have been in a good position to continue the relationship. I had to do a lot of growth myself. Looking back, it was the right time and the right thing, but it fucking hurt. I grew a lot from it, and I probably wouldn't be doing breakup coaching if I hadn't gone through that situation and know what you guys are going through. I wouldn't care if my story's out there. Yes, you finally did make it, Sandra. Nice. Mac, would you recommend officially date someone while in college? I don't know what you mean by that, Daniel. Like, would you recommend officially dating someone while in college? What do you mean by officially dating? Does that mean like you're officially together? I'm not sure what you mean, Daniel. Before or after you read Corey Wayne? What do you mean, Melted Blue? I didn't read Corey Wayne's book. Here's the thing. Corey Wayne's book to me isn't a breakup book. Someone else mentioned that it's a breakup book. It's about a lot of the core of his book, that 3% man, is masculine and feminine energy, and more of a how to attract women thing than actual breakup book, if you want my opinion on that. I don't think it's centered around a breakup is what I mean. He talks more or less about how to attract women and be a man. A 3% man, right? Have you read the book Melted Blue and liked it and found it good? After so many months of no contact, it's like the whole point is to sever your connection with them. Why would you just undo all that hard work and get involved with someone who left? Again, individual circumstances and individual breakups are all different. It's not a broad general statement that one size fits all. And that's the one thing by doing this channel and taking everyone's breakup stories. Everyone has a little nuance, a little difference. But as human beings, we like to put everything in a box, and we like to say, okay, well, if this happens, everyone should do this. And what I'm saying is that individually, sometimes in 7 or 8 months, depending on how the breakup happened, why it happened, you can revisit it. If you had no contact, fine. If you still have some really deep scars, or that person long-term couldn't be a partner now that you've had that time, I think your take on things was on target and not blaming, but respectful. After months of question mark, your response gave me peace. Really? Are you talking about the video version of your story? So I mean, my thing is, when I give you a response on your breakup stories, I don't overanalyze it. Okay, a lot of times I read the story for the first time on the video because I want to use my subconscious rather than dig deep and like unpack 15 things from it. It's like, no, this is what happened. This is your clarity. Actually, this is what, like, are you really reading this statement? So a lot of times I'm not going into it where when we get into a live coaching, then we'll break some things down deeper. Your breakup story. A romantic relationship, officially dating. So you're asking me, should you have a romantic relationship in college? That's your prerogative. That's up to you, and it's based on your values. Here's what I would say, Daniel. Don't put a wall up and go, I'm not getting in a relationship while I'm in college. If it happens, and it happens, spontaneous, and you meet someone you really like and you connect, why not? Why put a wall up? Why sit there and go, yeah, I'm never going to do that. And then you meet someone really nice and you really connect well, and you have this wall, like you have this rule in place. I wouldn't do that. You know, you've already learned from this past relationship, Daniel. You're a leader. You're someone that's really confident about who you are right now. You're going in the right direction. If you meet someone that matches up, don't put a wall up. I know when I was younger, it would take a lot for me to get to a point to commit to a long-term relationship. And the girlfriends that I had, which wasn't many, it's not like I had, when we say official, going into it, I never thought like, oh yeah, we're going to get together and we're going to have 2 kids and we're going to get married. It was just like, just happen progressively for me. That's how I am. So then the short answer, Daniel, don't put a wall up. Don't have any rules about that. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, keep spinning plates and having a good time. I mean, if you read Rollo Tomasi's book, he'd say, don't get in one. I'd say, and this is the nuances, are you the type that some people like to be in a monogamous long-term relationship? It suits them. They enjoy it. If that's how you are, that's fine. If you're someone that you're at 21 years old, you're in college, and you're like, wow, I want to have a good time, and I don't want to get too tied down, then be honest with the individuals that you're seeing and spin some fucking plates. Waiting on your book. I'm working on it, Melted Blue. I'm working on it, but I got some chapters written. It's going well, actually. And the thing about the book is it's going to be based on breakups. Okay, so it's just like some of the people have told me, like someone was making a kind of a joke. They're like, well, life coach. I'm not a life coach. I help people with their breakups. And then if it melts into Melted Blue, if it melts into other things, which a lot of times it does in the live coachings, not in the YouTube responses, then we can talk about other parts of your life. But to me, life is a broad topic, you know. If someone's a life coach and they're like, I can help you with your business too. It's like, I can give you some insight, but I'm not a business coach. Go to a business coach for that. Read the book, read my book 10 times to 15 times. That's Corey Wayne's line. And I understand why he says it's absolutely true to read something 10 or 15 times. It'll become like the Bible for you, right? And that's how you remember it, and that's how you live it. So, and a lot of people do. Rob, what's up, buddy? I told a few more people about your live chats. We'll keep spreading the word. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, buddy. Funny story. I got a surprise snail mail letter one day from my first boyfriend from high school. So we're friends now. I think I remind him of his youth. Nostalgia. What does it mean to get a snail mail letter? Isn't that like an automated thing? See, I don't know how long ago that was for you, Judy Jack, but why not? You know, why not revisit it? My first girlfriend when I was 18 or 19, my first serious relationship, she contacted me. I'd be like, oh yeah, I think I've been in contact with her on and off, and friends have mentioned that she's mentioned me or something, but there's nothing there from 18, 19 years ago. But to have lunch or have a chat, absolutely would. Snail mails are rare these days. Mac, I'm trying to distance myself from all the breakup YouTube information just so I can start moving on, but I'm going to stick around to your channel because you discuss way more than just that. Well, thanks, James. Thanks. I guess I do. And I think my approach in the live coaching sessions is actually and so being a good friend, we talk about a lot of different things and we have some laughs too. I don't think I've had one live coaching session where we haven't smiled and laughed a couple times. The old-fashioned handwritten letters. That's snail mail? Is that what that is? Okay. I mean, like I tell you guys, if I don't know something, I'll just tell you. And I know I've heard the term snail mail, but I didn't know that's what it meant. I don't think I will want to even go on a date with my ex if she reaches out. Well, based on what you've told me on the live streams and different information, yeah. And you're in college and you're 21, you just gained all this muscle and you're going to move away anyways. So you're in a good place. I'd definitely, be spinning plates and dating and doing your thing on yourself, man. So many people focus on just how to get an ex back, but that doesn't fix anything. Developing a full functional life is what builds relationships. Not just get your ex back, BS. I agree 100%. And really the reason why the breakup's really tough on you is because you don't have other parts of your life together. And I say that from my own experience. Like I said, I'm not fucking bulletproof. I'm no saint in my life. I've had trials and tribulations. I've done stupid shit. And I've been in places where I'm not really proud of where I'm at. And that's a big one, being happy, feeling significance, feeling that you're happy with job and career is big. It's big. The amount of people that are having trouble with their breakups, I'll ask them, like, how's your job going? I hate it. Really? Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, that's where it kind of bleeds over into out of the breakup. But like, now that you're broken up, let's assess that. That's a problem with your character right now when you're going to work and you hate it. She told me that she needed my location on 24/7 or else she would have broken up with me. That's ridiculous, Daniel. And I would say you're better off being without someone like that. I've never had a relationship where someone was highly jealous or highly possessive like that. It's just something I wouldn't, and I'm not like that in any way either. So it's just, I don't relate to it. Anxiety makes people do some crazy things, Mac. Blame it on whatever you want. I'm not going to accept someone tracking my ass for, when I'm going to lunch. And I've had friends do it like, oh, hold on, let me just check in with her and let me tell her that you're here with me. What the fuck is this? Atlantis. Just want to say you're a cool dude. You literally dedicate time of your day to talk to strangers and help them with their lives. Thanks, man. You helped me out about 9 months ago. I'm happy single. Well, fucking thank you, Atlantis. And just throwing that thank you out, you might think, oh, that's not a big deal. No, it's fucking a big deal, man. I really appreciate it because I just got an email from a guy that sent me his story in September. So that might be 9 months ago, might be the same guy. And it might be a different one, but he was saying that, I read his story and now he's got a new girlfriend. He just wanted to say thank you. It's like, the information and the time I spent on that story really helped him out. And he wanted to people give me updates sometimes. They'll be like, oh, I got a new girlfriend. I just want to let you know, Mac. And you know what? I fucking love the updates. You might think, oh, I didn't have time. It just reaffirms I'm doing good work. And that feels good. You know what I mean? That's currency in a lot of ways. That's people currency. That's human currency right there. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate donations. I appreciate getting paid for live coachings and whatnot. But if you send me an update and you're like, man, I was this story and you send me that, I'm doing so fucking well right now. I just want to say thank you for giving me your take and da-da-da-da. Please, please, please send me those. It keeps me going. So all these coaches prey on people with false hope of getting their ex back. Channels like yours focus on building yourself back up that you can be happy and healthy or whatever happens. When I first, good point, James. When I first started, I kind of looked at other channels and kind of dressed them down. And, oh, this guy's this or that guy's this. If it works for you, it works for you. There's certainly other channels out there. I don't know if they're all bad. Certainly some of them are a little pricey. Go with who resonates with you, who you connect with. Obviously, we resonate, James, because you've been on a lot of the live streams. You give fucking good advice yourself. You're a fucking history major, and that's the really interesting thing about doing this. A lot of the people that I deal with, I usually have something in common with that's random like that. How many majors are there in college, and we're both history degrees? What does that say about us? I don't know. James is a future coach, possibly. Daniel, if you saw my relationship history, you'd think I'm an idiot with this stuff, good with other people's problems, not my own. Well, here's the thing. I've talked about this once before. I don't know if it was in a live stream, but I found this highly fucking interesting. And it was like an aha moment. Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, Daniel, you'll know who he is because he's very popular with university students right now. And I like him. Jordan Peterson, he's, put him down there. He's got a ton of, lectures, and hold on a second. So Jordan Peterson, I think he was on Joe Rogan, And he's got the book, and he's got all these things, and he's teaching young men how to have their purpose and different things. And he's great. He's great. You know, he's a smart man. Absolutely, 100%. I'm on deck with him. He's highly articulate. I like his point of view 90% of the time. And he's a college professor. He's got a lot of shit to back it up, right? I mean, he's rarely cornered with a question. Here's my point, though, James. He's talking, I forgot how it comes up. He goes, yeah, I suffered from severe depression throughout my 20s and my late teens. I'm like, I don't know the exact time frame. And I'm going, what the fuck? This guy's recommending how to live and all these things, and he's in severe depression. He's like, oh, yeah. Joe Rogan's like, really? And I'm thinking to myself, we're going to get, this is my mind's thinking this while I'm watching. How are you giving advice to people when you have severe depression all those times and he suffered and da-da-da? Well, here's the thing. The reason he wants to help people out there and give advice is because he's fucking been on the other end. Right? And that's what I'm saying to you, James. It's like you might have had bad relationships, but all those bad relationships cultivate who you are right now, and you're able to give better advice. If everything went swimmingly for you, if everything went fucking outstanding and you were still with your first love, you wouldn't be as wise as you are now in helping individuals with their breakups. And I'd say the same thing about myself. If I made all the right moves and I was, born rich, and I wouldn't be able to do that. And let's take it one step further. I know I always use basketball because that's my thing. Played basketball for years and I love the NBA. But like Michael Jordan, which most people know who Michael Jordan is, Michael Jordan can't be a fucking coach. He can't, because he can't relate to the fact that people don't have his athletic ability, his will to win, and the results he's had, right? They can't relate to it. That's why most coaches in sports aren't the greatest players in the sport. Do you ever think about that? Because they just can't understand. Usually, the guy that becomes the fucking outstanding coach is the guy that barely made the team, had to work his ass off, and observed the other players really well, and barely was on the team, was mediocre at best for a few years, had a role. And those are the guys that become coaches in sports leagues, not the stars usually. Why is that? They can't relate. They didn't go through the shit. They had an athletic gift, and they can't translate it into coaching. So the idea that you've been shit in your other relationships actually breeds well for you giving advice because you've learned from it, dude. And other people have told you that a couple times, Jamesy. I'm not saying you want to do it, but I'll take the compliment, though, if I were you. Do you ever get updates of people that reconnected? Yes. Yes, I do. And it's always different. So I would say a majority of the time, it starts out okay, and then it usually doesn't result well because people will continue to contact after that. There's been a few times, oh, we got back together, and then like 2 weeks later, like, oh shit. 1 month later, oh shit. Does that mean it never works out? I don't know. I've gotten an offer recently from an ex-boyfriend I dated in my late 20s. But it's funny how he hasn't changed much even after many years. Late 20s, I mean, well, how and why do people change? They change their environments. If someone lives in the same place and has the same job, they haven't changed. That's a good marker. If someone's in the same field, has lived in the same city since they were in their 20s, or one or the other, they probably haven't changed much. I know exactly what you mean, James. Yes, Jordan Peterson. Some dudes you're referring to. Do you think reconciling after that many years, 10 plus years, gives you bigger odds at success? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I wouldn't put a number on anything because then that becomes an expectation. Here's the thing. The only real shit is math. People use the word science all the time. And, well, I'm backed by science or science this. Math. 2 + 2 is fucking 4. If you want to debate that, you're an idiot. It's like there's no way to debate that, right? So when you start throwing math on things, people go, oh, 10 years, that's the thing. No, it's an opinion. It's individually based on the situation, in my opinion. Everything's an opinion that's not math. Everything. My favorite book from him is 12 Rules of Life for Life. Yeah, and he has another book actually too, so that's good knowledge. I've listened to the audiobook. For how much people love the book, it's the same message, just coded in a different way for self-improvement. And I don't mean that as a knock on the book. The book's good. It's well written. But a lot of self-improvement books give similar advice in a different way. And it's basically a lot of books are remixes of different ideas or advice. You can give the best advice to yourself if you think about what you would tell someone else. I agree, Judy Jack. A lot of times in my live coachings, what I do is I'll ask really good questions and let you advise yourself. If you ask really good questions and you're relaxed and you're calm, a lot of times you're stuck on one question you don't like the answer to and you keep asking it over and over again. That's called the fucking mouse wheel. How many times I've had people go, well, I think she's doing this, I think she's doing that. Well, you don't really fucking know. Let's start asking some questions that you know the answers to about yourself. I'd say there are about 5 or so great ones. The rest just have generic advice and ask you to pay more. I guess you're talking about breakup coaches, and I guess that's what is different for me because I haven't gone through a tough breakup in the last 2 or 3 years. So I haven't gone through every channel of these other breakup coaches. And there's sometimes people mention someone, I'm like, no, I haven't heard of that one. But there is a lot of, besides generic advice, it's just general. You know, there's a playbook people are running on this stuff. And at the core of it, if I could give you my take and my thing is it's not, there's not a playbook on breakups, folks. There's not a playbook on this. And that's what people are looking for. Hey, this happened. What do I do? It's like, all right, well, no, give me more information about yourself. Give me more information about what happened. And we can tailor a response to actually what's going on. Milton Erickson, the great Milton Erickson, one of the greatest quotes, people are like fingerprints. It's absolutely true. We're different. You might say, oh, we're so similar, but there's nuances. People are like fingerprints. So are your story and the way you are interpreting it is different. And so that's why I need to know what happened to give you advice. If I give you some general advice, like do no contact, a lot of times people are like, yeah, you said this about no contact and I'm like, yeah, that was for an individually based story. But if we're going to talk about your story, I don't know if you need no contact. There are certain situations where you don't need it. Is that everything? Would I say a majority of the time no contact leads the way? Yeah, but that would be a general statement. And that's what I would stay away from if I was going to give you guys some blanket advice out there. Stay away from general advice. Yeah, there's obvious fucking advice. It's like, oh, you know, I used to get, what is it, Maxim magazine? You guys remember that? When my niece was young and, you know, we had family friends that would have kids and they sell those magazine subscriptions. So I had like Maxim and Men's Health. And, you know, the number of times they recommend you eat broccoli and fucking almonds is like every issue. It's like, can we stop recommending the same fucking foods for different reasons? They're healthy, they're good for you. But now they have data out there that, you know, individual mitochondria is different in every individual. And actually, some people, almonds or broccoli isn't good. It's not a blanket health food. It's really surprised me. It's for a different live stream, but Judy, a few days after I had coaching with Mac, I completely put her out of my mind. Not more than a few days later, she contacted me. Was it a good thing, Melted Blue? I was worse at relationships the last few years. Now I finally look at them as practice and an experiment of all these dating skills I'm learning, and life got fun again. Sweet. I like that response. Well, Sandra, you've given your take on a few of my videos, and you're very articulate. You're a good writer. So I don't know what you do as your job. You don't need to share that in a live stream, but you should pursue something with writing. You're very good at I write, but I always notice when people have good grammar and good placement, and you do. It seems like you like how you do one thing is how you do everything, they say. And you write well, so. Sandra, see? He says exactly. Melted blue, they usually do when you stop thinking of them. Yeah, that's kind of this rule. That's one of those things that's on the internet. I think that guy, something ape, talks about that. The man ape or something. Someone said he lives in Chiang Mai, actually. This has been a really good session. Thanks for joining today, Rob and Melted Blue and Daniel, and Monica and Sandra, James, as always. You win some, you lose some, but each one you get better and better. Well, that's glass half full. Wow, Mac, love the fact that you know a lot of these authors that I've been reading about since my breakup. That's my knowledge, bro. Someone said, oh, do you have a master's degree in psychology? No, but I fucking read a lot, listen to a lot of audiobooks, watch a lot of lectures on YouTube, and I fucking listen well. And the thing is, in doing breakup coaching and helping other people out, I help. The funny thing about this is, before I started doing this, I had a lot of friends and colleagues that would usually be like, hey, I want to ask you about something, and they would talk to me about relationships. Raptors fan? Are you asking me? No. Yes. Daniel, you're going for the Raptors too. We won't get too much into the game, but you know what? Game 2, cream always rises. That was a great game. I'm really excited about the series. I'm happy for Toronto. And the thing I love about this NBA Finals is it's good basketball, dude. There's no faulty calls. It's so much better than watching the Houston Rockets play. It's just been a real treat. So if my Warriors team, who I love and I've been with since they were horrible, was to lose, I'd be happy that Toronto was the team to win. Where in TO you at? Oh, a little more personal chat there. I hope you're a Lakers fan. We suck, but I've been a Laker for life. I actually don't like the Lakers. And it's pretty much, it's so funny being a Warriors fan and the Warriors sucking for so many years. And like, it's so great when your team's good. And let's face it, the Lakers were good for a long time. I lost my track here. We're having a good conversation, folks. Melted blue, funny how that works. But you have to distinguish, are they curious because they miss you or they miss the attention? Well, that's why you go out and you see what happens, and you don't want to read too much into that. Wayne Gretzky was once a coach. Atlantis, I'm going all in on the Warriors because that's been my team since birth. I used to have season tickets to the Warriors when they sucked, when they had Mike Dunleavy and Troy Murphy. So I'm going to hang out with an ex-friend. So I'm going to an ex-friend. So I'm going to take it normal, but I'm assuming an ex-girlfriend. So I'm going to take it normal, but I got this feeling she'll ask me about my ex if she so is rude to ignore it or not talk about it. Eric, what's your intention in going to hang out with this friend? To have a good time? Like, always come back to that. What's your intention? Intention means, what do you want from this? Hi, Mac. What's up, hippie chick? North Carolina or South Carolina? Hippie chick in the house. Everyone loves that name. Bohemian? Mind, phone, conversation, one phone combo. I don't know what that means. I found that most people past the age of 25 are quite reluctant to change, especially when it comes to relationship habits. Yeah, until something catastrophic happens, right? Like a traumatic breakup. Like I said, I would say that if you're going to look at people and they haven't moved and they have the same job, they generally won't change who they are. If they have like a job for 15 years, 20 years, but I could be wrong because there are exceptions to that rule. Or something happens, a death in the family, a crazy breakup, some kind of loss, something that spins your life in a way that brings you down to ground zero and you reassess things. If everything's going flowingly and great, you usually don't like to change. It's like a dog doesn't look for other places to eat when you feed them in the same place every day. Why is that? Because it's comfortable, it's predictable. That's what humans usually are searching for, comfort and predictable. When you're in your late teens, early 20s, sometimes you're like, no, I want a little adventure. Again, exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, only 10 people here. We need to get this up to 100. You know what? Other people said they like the fact that it's only 10 because we can get some, you can get more interaction. I wish this was coming up in the live feed when people look. 2 + 2 is 4, not up for debate. It's so fucking true. If I can give you like one thing that I really learned in college, and this seems, someone said, oh yeah, I already knew that. Did you though? Do you really know the fact that everything that comes out of someone's mouth is generally a fucking opinion based on a couple facts? Right? At the end of it, do you respect that opinion based on their life experience, right? 2 + 2 is 4. That's not debatable. That's it. Everything else is kind of open, right? Damn, Mac, that really hit home for me. Thank you. You learn more from losing than from winning. Even if a relationship ends, there's the silver lining that you hopefully learned a valuable lesson. Fuck yeah, it does. It is true, bro. I look back when I had that breakup, and I'll talk about it when I eventually get a book out there. I'm going to get more in depth about it. And I was so down, and it wasn't just about the fucking breakup. It wasn't just about the breakup. It was way deeper. It was way more things were going on. There's way more losses than just that breakup I was dealing with. But now, the level of compassion I have for other people in a breakup is like this, dude. The level of honesty I have with people, I've talked about this before. Before I had a really bad breakup, and I had this kind of like turning point in my life when I was 27, 28 years old. I wasn't nearly as compassionate or open to what other people go through. I've met Jordan Peterson a few times incredibly well. There's been other people that have told me that. You're from Toronto though too, and I don't know if he's not from Toronto. He's from somewhere in the country, right? Somewhere in the sticks, Northern Canada, which Northern Canada is pretty big. I like Jordan Peterson though. And, I got time for his lectures and the way he articulates. And me teaching at a university and me teaching for years, I have that to relate with him. I think he's a good man. But that just shocked me. You see this incredibly articulate, wise would be the word. And then he's talking about how he suffered from severe depression throughout his 20s. And he was like, really severe depression. I was like, what? Because he knows what it's like. That's why he's able. Why would he go into psychology if he suffered from depression? Because he knows what it's like to be on the other end, man. Not trying to brag or reveal my terrible track record, but I have 4 exes trying to make it happen again right now. Well, good for you. That feels good. I mean, fuck. If some of my exes from the past right now that I'm not interested try to reconnect, that's a compliment. I wouldn't have any angst or like, oh shit, now you're gonna try to contact me. That's not a good place to be in. Proof this stuff works. All I do is mind my own business, learn from it, and move on. Well, you obviously were a catch at the time. If 4 of them are coming back, then you weren't the problem completely. They had a problem. And that has to do with something you're attracted to in an individual. Maybe you're one of those people that are trying to fix people. I don't have losses, just long-term wins. I love that you put me, because people quote some people sometimes, like in books and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that quote's not that great. I mean, when I write my book, I'm seriously thinking about putting quotes at the top of every chapter and going, Mac McCarthy, because I have good quotes too, Sometimes we lean on, oh, this is Julius Caesar that said this, or this is so-and-so. It's like, come up with your own quotes. Right on, James. Wow, that's a full house. Same, Sandra. So hippie chick has the same problem. Well, the question would be, Sandra, if there are 4 exes, are they similar? Are they similar characters? Are they similar situations? Are you running a pattern? If they're all coming back to you, are they? Why would they be coming back? I find the talk about no contact varies from coach to coach, and it should, because we're all different. It is lit tonight. Thanks, James. It is. Thanks to. It's like I don't need 100 people, right? As long as we're having a good conversation, we're helping each other out. Thanks, hippie shit. Cheers. Some say never break, no contact. Some say 30 days. I wouldn't put a number on it, but I have put a number on it for people that need a fucking finish line. Does that make sense? So that goes back to the individual cases. That goes back to humans being fingerprints. They're all different. Some people need a fucking finish line, but I tell them in 30 days, that doesn't mean that you can do this, that, or the other. That just means you need some kind of goal, and then reassess where you're at 30 days. That doesn't mean in 30 days they'll contact you. That doesn't mean in 30 days you contact them. That means give yourself 30 days of no contact, reassess the situation again. But overall, 30 days means what? It means you have a goal. It means you have a finish line. And overall, the rule of thumb is between 3 weeks and 30 days is when people tend to miss each other the most. I don't know what studies that's based on, but I think that's probably, for the most part, true. But again, my thing, Rob, I need to know your individual story, and then we can unpack it from there. But overall, you're doing no contact for you, and if they come back, it's a bonus. I'm going to stick by that one. Because a lot of people, they go, oh, yeah, I'm doing it for you. No, you're not. You're doing it to get them back. You're doing it to hopefully get their attention, and that's not the way to go. You're one of my top 3 favorite dating coaches. I need all the help I can get. Well, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that, huh? I do. But if 100 people are here, the conversation won't be personal. Yeah, that's what other people have mentioned before in the live streams. I haven't been doing this for too long amount of time, and I don't have, based on a YouTube thing, that many subscribers. People go, oh, I'm thankful that we're able to have this intimate of a chat, if you will. I know Mac better make us all moderators when it gets that big. Other people, I've had 3 or 4 people be like, I'll be the moderator. I'm not there yet, I guess. So it's all good, though. I enjoy it, guys. I really do. I know Mac better make us all moderators. Sorry. Who are the other 2? I knew someone would ask that. And I was curious when you said that, too. That's an open loop. Maxim. You know what I mean about that, Rob, right? How many times have you read Maxim or Men's Fitness, and they have like the food, top 10 healthy foods to eat? It's like broccoli and almonds every time, or a handful of walnuts. It's like, how many times can you put that in a fucking magazine? A lot of times it's not groundbreaking shit, right? I remember I used to get Playboy magazine, great articles, and they had, they'd have the centerfold, and the number one thing that she'd be turned off by was bad breath every time. It's like, doesn't everyone hate bad breath? Better get his autograph quick. Where's your power? Have you ever heard of a case where a guy, when no contact, and during the no contact, the ex got pregnant by a temporary relationship she entered after the breakup? Yes. Actually, someone that comes on the live stream, sometimes that happened to. Yep. Recently. I think he mentioned it on the fucking live stream, Rob. And that's an interesting situation to be in. I haven't been there. I've been doing good for 6 months. Recently, an ex-friend talked to, and from there, I can't sleep at night. What's the ex-friend thing? Is it rude to permanently stop talking to her? I've been doing good for 6 months. Don't worry about being rude. If it's affecting your life and your livelihood and how you treat other people, then move the fuck on, Eric. Why would it be rude? If you're worried about being rude, but it's affecting your life, that's going to affect you being not your best with other people. So, and if it's a friend, they have other friends. They'll be okay. And no contact. I mean, thanks, Mac. I don't write. I teach martial arts and yoga. Okay. Should I get in a different field? Should get in a different field. My grandma and 2 sisters are published authors. There you go. Okay, well then when you first wrote your story, I noticed that also because I remember someone saying that my sisters are published authors. I remember you telling me that in the response email. You're very good, right? Maybe you should write a book about martial arts or yoga or both. You know, a lot of a really good book is How to Fail at Everything and Win in Life or something by Scott Adams. I don't know if you checked that one out, Daniel, but he talks about culminating the different parts of your skills into one thing. And so if you can somehow teach martial arts and yoga, which is really cool, how can you do that in a different way? That's cool. Yeah, I remember someone responding and telling me my sisters are published authors. That must be you, because I've given you that compliment when you first wrote the story. Just saying, Sandra, look at writing. Wow, I'm way backed up here. I think that's great. We all have these civil discussion to help each other out with these topics. Me too. Sandra, what martial arts do you teach? I teach. Oh, cool, James. Shit, I think that sounds. I mean, that's great. That's something I'd like to learn in the future. I did yoga for a bit, off and on. I have to be honest, I didn't stick with it. I'm not a very flexible person, so I got frustrated, but it really did help relax me. I wouldn't take any of them back, but Sandra, I teach I'm thinking Taekwondo, James, right? No, I wouldn't take any of them back. My most recent one, I wish I could still love him, but he has gotten much worse, and I feel I've really worked on myself, so we don't even vibe anymore. Well, if you know that, that's fucking clarity. P.S. The live streams are awesome. Way better than the archive videos. Any on YouTube, the live vibe is cool. Thank you. You mean the archive videos, the stories, the ones on my channel? Is that what you're saying, Sandra? Yeah, I enjoy it too. And like I said, I'm dedicating some time each day to do one. I said that I would start June 1st and I already missed 2 days. Oops. I teach 13 different styles. Jesus, 13 different styles? Can you teach 13 different styles of, oh my God. Wow. What's your favorite style? I'm curious. Huh? Mostly Kung Fu and Jiu-Jitsu. Wow. Okay, if you teach 13 different styles, I have an interesting question. What's your favorite or best for someone coming out of a breakup? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't do martial arts. The one thing I really liked about yoga is the effect it had on my mental clarity and on my mental calmness. It was almost a form of meditation for me, especially hot yoga. Bikram hot yoga. I mean, after the day after that, I'm so calm. So is there a form of martial arts that you'd recommend if someone was going to get into it more or less to relax? Because I would say that when you come out of a breakup, you want something to relax your mind more. I am a wooz. I teach kids classes at my dojo. I think a Karate Kid. I know that's cliche. Dang, son, the crane. Is the crane even a real move? The Karate Kid crane move? Is that even a real move in karate? Sandra, I feel bad for my ex. She's downgraded everything in her life. Sad, sending her to your dojo. I had said something similar that happened. Same. I like teaching the little ones. Feels like you're making a difference in their lives. Mac would probably say get on my purpose and make a career out of it. No, you just said that, James. Think about that. That's your idea. Interesting book called Deep Work. If you guys are I think he has a good perspective on finding your passion. He doesn't call it your purpose, but following a passion. And he talks about actually not following your passion. So if martial arts was your passion, it might not necessarily be the best career or job for you. What I always like to encourage is, how are you not looking at this field in a way that would be an ideal way for you to teach? I'm a teacher also. That's what we have in common too, James, because I'm a teacher also. And how do you want to be? It's like someone says, "Okay, you're a teacher." It's like, well, what do you teach? What do you want to teach? How do you want to teach? What's your approach? What would be the ideal? What would be the ideal way to teach martial arts? Could you make that happen? Are you referring to she downgraded for the in the guys? She goes, well, okay, yes, guys, her life. Melted blue. It's funny how that works, because it's not common, but from time to time it happens. I've only seen it once. Couldn't believe the downgrade. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm a little lost here, Rob. So referring to who's downgrading, okay? I'm way behind. This is good. This is a good chat today. You guys got a lot to talk about, and we're interacting. It's fucking outstanding. How old was she when she accepted this lifestyle? Okay, you guys are interacting. I don't need to. Jordan Peters is now based out of Toronto. He's originally from out west, though. That's what I thought. The one I knew was 30, so. I think it has something to do with getting closer to hitting the wall. Okay, so you guys are talking to each other here. Good, nice. Glad to bring you together. It's been a while. She keeps asking for us to meet up, but I always refuse until now. I wanted time to fix myself, and now I'm ready to date. We'll go for it then. Good move. Be the best version of yourself first. James, yes, I love the kids. They are so sweet. Give yourself 100 days, no joke. Mayo's on deck. Bonjour. All my exes are similar but different. I am kind and I don't hold grudges. Plus, I work hard on myself after each one, so I think they see someone better than I was, and I think we should try again. All my exes are similar but different. In Thailand, they say same but different. I'm kind and I don't hold grudges. Plus, I work on myself after each one, so I think that is a pattern. If you're working on each one after, you're working on yourself, I think they see someone better than I was, and I think we should try again. If you have 4 exes, is there a similar problem in the breakup, Sandra? Is it, like, for example, something like jealousy, or you always having to do everything for the guy and be the leader? I don't know. Is there a similar theme? The whole squad's out here tonight. There's a few missing, but yeah, for the most part, glad you got home safe. Yes, sir. It's a long fucking flight, I'll tell you that much, dude. It's a long flight. Oh, Nixon, okay. Wow, this is a good. We only have 11 people, but we got a lot of chat going on. Right on. All my exes are similar but different. Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my place. The whole squad here tonight. I have a few exes that try to come back, but I like worst of the bunch to torture myself, I guess. You like the worst of the bunch? You're probably most attracted to the worst of the bunch, I bet. Physical attraction is probably winning the day on that one if I had to guess. But I could be wrong. Yes, that happened to me. She got pregnant during no contact by a low-level tattooed criminal. Sorry to laugh, dude. Complete downgrade from my situation. She wants back in with me now. I can't do it. You can't do it. You don't want to do it, man. Come on. Yeah, there's another individual. he's actually back dating her, and then he's going to get a pregnancy test. He just sent me an email. So yeah, that's happened before. You know, that kind of situation, Rob, and she wants to get, I mean, are you going to take on fathering another kid? That's the golden question. I mean, it's not your kid. You already have the kid's not even born yet, and you're referring to his father as a low-level tattooed criminal type. You're going to look at the kid the same, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, his father's a low-level criminal type. The kid hasn't even been born yet. You can't have a relationship with someone like that, and you already have that judgment. I'm not judging you for having that judgment, but just be fucking aware of it, dude. No way. Rob, no, not happening. My goal is to be able to speak British. I've been taking classes and take my mind off everything that stresses me. Like with a British accent? All right there, lads. No, that's Irish, huh? You know what's funny about that, Rob? It's like, even though everyone from the outside is going like, oh, fuck, it's obvious. You don't do that. Don't do it. It's still going through your mind because you still have feelings for the woman. And I'm sure her being pregnant manipulates you in some ways that you feel like you'd want to help her out. But you know the answer, dude. Yep, happens. Things like fuck, but I move forward. Good for you. Go in and listen later. I want to stop by and say what's up. Drop you a like. Cheers. Thanks, Nike. You got to work sometime, bro. I know you're busy. My boy Rob is an alpha. You don't want that crack baby of hers. That's a strong statement, James. Come on, man. Hi, Nike. Rob, that's a MGTOW, brother. Seriously, how offensive is that? She gets pregnant by some POS and then has the balls to come crawling back. That's just pathetic. The funny thing is she's educated with 2 degrees, yet fell into a situation with an uneducated, unemployed criminal type. Can't believe it. It's called attraction, dude. She's attracted to the guy in some way, and there's something about him. There's some edge he has. Why do women like bad boys or whatever you want to call them? They're attracted to him in some way. The guy's probably in good shape, good looking. It's like, this is a while back. Had a live coaching with this guy, and this guy had his shit together. I mean, this guy was in his early 50s, but he was a massage therapist, I think in Austria. Really cool fucking dude. A lot of character to him and stuff. And he was, you know, like most of the time in a live coaching, we got out of the relationship that was current. And I was like, well, tell me about your past one. He's like, oh, before that I had this woman. And he's like, it was just a fucking mess. And she was a fucking heroin addict half the time. I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, well, I mean, let me ask you, like, you know, he's going on, we were together for 2 years and we just fought all the time and this and that. And this guy, like I said, he has his shit together, pretty sharp dude. I'm like, well, why were you with her? Because she's fucking gorgeous and we had great sex. You know what I mean? So, Rob, her problem now, yep. James Kavanaugh, it is pathetic. I have a decent job and resources. That's maybe why. Could be. Don't get too involved with why or when. Just stay in no contact. Because that kind of situation, Rob, if you got a heart and you've been with her before, she can manipulate you into feeling sorry for her. Women go with those criminal types because they like the bad. That's what I didn't read that yet, but it doesn't matter how bad they are for them. They all know, get the primal part of the brain going. Yeah, it's attraction, dude. I think it's something they regret later in life. Can be. Well, I mean, you know, women will hold out for the guy that they want to be with long term, and maybe, you know, be a little bit more risque for the guy with the tattoos and, you know, that's been working out in the gym, has done time for, you know, 2 years. I mean, think about it in reverse as a guy, what you're highly attracted to in a woman. And like I said, that example I just gave you, that guy, that shocked me. It was like, dude, she was gorgeous. I love women, but it's hard for them to respect the nice, kind, khaki-wearing, everyday man. They want to be with the Genghis Khan. He was a nice dude. He was a murderous conqueror. Well, not all. That's not true with all of them. I certainly would say that women, like you said, the primal thing, yeah. The primal thing. The other guy took off immediately once he found out she got pregnant. Well, are you surprised? This has been great, guys. This is a little flow session. It's an hour and a half, and I didn't even notice. Kid only means this dude will be in your life forever. Like I told you before, if you're taking on a kid, it's deep. You have to like the kid, let alone have some inclinations about who his dad was. The other guy took off immediately once he found out her pregnant. Just got a message his ex reached out after 8 months of no contact after she completely just got a message that his ex, now he's in jail. And you're LOL about it. It's bad karma, dude. Sorry, guys. I lost my track here. You guys are having a great conversation, and I'm gonna have to go in about 15 minutes. I don't plan to get involved. Yes, Crane is a real move. And my personal, so I've lost you guys here. Here you go. Yes, Rob, she regrets it already. Long road ahead, stay out. Reasons exes won't come back besides death and cheating. Because they found someone else? Or because the person that you became or they known you to become is someone they're no longer going to ever be attracted to again. But I don't plan to get involved. Yes, not even shoulder to cry on. Please, Jim. Yes, Crane is a real move. My personal favorite style is jiu-jitsu. Okay, but a style I recommend after a breakup is any of them really that are a good hard workout that will keep your mind off it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not playing the white knight. Yeah, good for you. Stick to your word, dude. Sandra is so cool. Rob status. Top patrolled. Keep that pimp hand strong. James, have you ever seen this show? Have you guys ever seen? This is like off topic, but Pimps Up, Hose Down, the HBO special. This was like 10 or 15 years ago. And I remember thinking, like, there's really people that do this shit? It's a documentary on HBO. I think they have it on YouTube. I was just shocked. Pimps Up, Hose Down. And they're interviewing real pimps. I didn't even, they had like an award ceremony and stuff. And there's guys like, I'll put her on pimp arrest. I was looking for her in the daylight with a flashlight. I'm like, what the fuck? There's really people like this? I thought it was just moved. This is like 15 years ago and shit. So random, but I mean, you got to check that out if you haven't seen it, James. The pattern is that for the last 8 years, I'm just scared. I see red flags, and I'm learning this time around to be more discerning and upfront. You girls are cool. Wouldn't think clear-minded women would have a breakup issues. Hey, dude, everyone that breaks up has some fucking residue from it. I mean, no one's numb. You're the only people that are numb to feelings are psychopaths, fucking Ted Bundy or something. People that aren't showing that they have some feelings after a breakup with someone that you had feelings for. I don't even want to say love, but if you were with someone for a year or more, somewhere in that arena, they're gonna have feelings. The only time that it really, really evaporates quick is when they find someone else immediately, or they move to a new state or country and have a new job and have a new outlook. But it will bubble up later on for some reason or another. It just does. Unless you are really in a bad relationship where you treated an individual bad or they treated you really bad. Those memories do not stay fondly, right? I have a relationship anxiety, so I tend to have one foot out always. Well, there's your problem, hon. I have issues, but finally getting over it after a lot of work on myself. Well, that's good, Sandra. The first step is realizing it, right? And the idea that you know that, that means you're not fully available, and that creates problems. And the reason that you'd have one foot out always is because you don't think it's going to work out. And that either has to do with something that with your parents, or whoever raised you, or that has to do with probably your first relationship. You were all in and it didn't work out. My oldest son actually met his snow wife when she was pregnant by her ex. They met when he came home on leave from Army. 3 months later, she moved across the country. They're still married 4 years. Now wife, not snow wife. I was like, what's that term? Sometimes it works. That's what I'm telling you. Like, don't generalize on this stuff. Sometimes it works. Could be. Sandra, when I see a hot temper, I am not cool. I think Snow Wife is actually probably, Rob, good you're talking about it. Yeah, absolutely. And good to laugh about it, dude. That fucking helps. The problem is that a friend wants us to meet where the ex is going to be at. The problem is that the friend wants us to meet where the ex is going to be at, but I've told her I refuse to go due to being too awkward. I told her to meet up in a different place, but always refuses. Why are you putting so much time into an ex-friend? What do you want from this situation, Eric? That's what I was afraid of. Just got a text from the ex right now telling me about her movie date today with her friend. That's trying to get your attention. I would just ignore it. Yeah, she's just trying to get your attention. She's just throwing a little bait out there, a little cat paw. That's what she just wants to see. Oh, does he still care? Not gonna lie, a lot of these old school pimps have some good advice about female nature, gender relations. There's stuff on YouTube, obviously. Take it with a grain of salt. Iceberg Slim is one. No, but there's a whole documentary. It was on HBO. I was young. I might be 20 years old. Ice-T's on it. How do I respond to that? Really? Men have to learn how to be a pimp for women. It comes naturally. Oh my God. Snow Wife sounds like a coke whore. You're spot on. Was in an 11-year relationship right out of high school. Never had any anxiety during that relationship. Then after it ended, and the anxiety just hit me. See, I don't have a master's in psychology, but I've read up on this stuff. And I've helped enough people to see that that's probably what it was. 11 years is a fucking long time, Sandra. That's an achievement. That's an accomplishment in relationships. And probably you're looking at, like, if that didn't work out, then the next one isn't. You know what I'm saying? And you might have to sew up that relationship in some way and write the story out to that situation. Maybe send me that story for that one, Sandra. If you're holding that a little bit, what happened in that? You can send that to my email, Sandra, and I'll give you my take. If you want, I'll give you my take. Maybe revisit that if you're possibly carrying it. Because 11 years, damn, that's a fucking damn good relationship, you know? And the longer it is, the deeper the wound. That's the absolute truth. And that was your model that you're running now. You're like, when's things going to go wrong? I don't want to get too hurt. Melted Blue, don't respond. How would responding serve you? Sounds like she wants attention and for you to focus on her. Agree. I just want to accept the invitation so she can stop insisting and maybe she could leave me alone. Well, you're in her frame, Eric. You're doing what she wants. And then you're going to go afterwards, you're going to be passive aggressive and go, oh, I can't believe she invited me and put me in that situation. Take responsibility for the situation and don't go if you don't want to go. Quit trying to please other people that are just friends or ex-friends. I leave the men brokenhearted. It's truly me, not them. Just feeling like being single is this time around until I get over it. It's not fair to them, but grateful to my exes as they help me see myself. Yeah, but you're hurting some people in the process, Sandra. She's trying to make you jealous in an immature and transparent way. I'd say Judy Jack's spot on. Yeah, Sandra, in the process, like you want to rework the idea that you're attracting that many you got 4 X's, you're in the martial arts and yoga, you're definitely centered with yourself. But I would say that if you're breaking up that many times on your terms, it doesn't feel good on your end either. Everyone always thinks that like the dumped and the dumpy, which are terms I don't like to use, but everyone understands them. The person that dumps the other person, it doesn't feel good on there. I've been on that side. It doesn't feel good. It's not a good position to be in. It's not a healthy way to be. I leave the men brokenhearted. Yeah, and that, if you do that, you start to think like, well, that's just what I do. That's just how I am in relationships. And start to see yourself like, wait a minute, I want to get into a relationship where I don't see it that way. And the reason why you're doing that is you're doing it to beat them to the punch. She's trying to make you jealous. Adam, welcome. I've never seen Adam Songamboli. X started fishing on my IG, then started showing up at our shared house 3 times for no reason, flirted with me 3rd time and showed all the signs of missing me. I asked her to go out and she says no. Well, that's called catpawing. She's playing a game. She wants more and more attention, it sounds like. She's not getting to the point. I will send you that story. That was significant. When the anxiety hit me, he was amazing. The relationship was great till the end. It shouldn't have ended. We were both young and dumb. Well, youth is wasted on the youth. Right? Do you ever look, like someone told me that? I was like, damn, that's a great fucking statement or quote. We knew what we knew now, right? I've never been smarter or wiser. Someone's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, every year I get fucking a little smarter, a little wiser based on fucking life experience, and that's what it is. You weren't too young and too dumb. You were who you were, and you needed to go through that when you went through it. Then tells me she dates this guy now, so I told her I don't need friendship, and she told me to move, but she clearly can't make up her mind. Adam, send me your story. You just give me, I don't know if you're new or if you sent my story. Send me your complete story. Send it into writemac.com, and I'll give you my full take. Because these snippets and stuff, it's hard to give you really good advice. I could give you short answers, but if she's reaching out and then she's telling you she's dating someone, she doesn't sound sincere and wanting to get back with you, and it sounds like she's a little bit vengeful and she wants to fuck with you a little bit. Like I said, she's catpawing you. Sandra has a good story. I'd like to hear a woman's perspective. Sandra, ain't that the truth? I feel like I met my soulmate, if that exists, when I was young and stupid and couldn't handle it. If only we met those people later on in life. Here's the crazy thing, James, and I'm going to wrap this up because I do have to go, people. And I thought about this myself because I've had an ex or two where I thought like, oh shit, I fucked up. Or if I would have done this, or they would have done this, or we would have had kids by now, da 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 da. The list goes on, okay? You don't know what would have happened. They could have ended up being a crack addict. You just assume, oh, if I would have done everything right, we would have been soulmates and got married. You don't know that. You don't know that. That's the thing. Like, we like to think like, oh, if we would have worked things out and if I didn't do this, this, and this, then we would have been rose petals and wine glasses for the rest of our life. Probably not. Probably something else would have happened. I'm not a soulmate person. I think that you have multiple soulmates over your life, if you want to call them that. You have people you click with, that you get along with, that are special. And there's more than one of those for you to meet in this big world. But also, if you were young and stupid, at the time, that's the only way you learn shit, dude. That's why you get burned on the stove. It's a significant growth. People can't just tell you to do things. Sometimes you got to go through it, man. It's only a friend, but 2 of them want me to go. So I do kindly refuse and stop taking them to move on. Do what's best for you, Eric. I'm afraid to get in a relationship because I do think I'm just going to screw it up. It is just a pattern that I need to break, working on it. Well, I'll help you, Sandra. Send that story in and we'll go from there, hon. We'll go from there. The fact that you realize that right now is big. That's my own term that I came up with. Catpawing. What did you say about a book being perfect at everything? What did you say about a book being perfect at everything? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Catpawing, good terms. This describes what I've felt. You know what I mean? When a cat just plays with something for, just to fuck with it? Sometimes they just play with like a cockroach on the ground or something, or a lizard, or It's the truth, though, right? It's the truth. I'm sorry, hippie chick. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, man. Thanks, Mac. Great to see everyone here. Yep, I'm about to close it down too, Jamesy. You are amazing. Thanks for all the wisdom tonight. No worries. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for contributing, folks. You know what's crazy? I planned on just doing 30 minutes, and I end up here for fucking an hour and 40 minutes. You said a book a while ago. You like 10 minutes. I'll have to watch a replay. You said a book a while ago, like 10 minutes ago. Deep Work. Was it Deep Work by Cal Newport? Maybe that's the one. This is involved in finding your purpose or career. I think he gives a good take. So that book, check it out. It's not. He's a college professor at Georgetown. It's not woo woo. I don't even know if it's self-improvement. It's more or less directed at becoming really good at something. And I guess it's similar to like mastery and those kinds of things. But stay strong, everyone. Don't let the exes get you down. Peace, 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 peace. All right. I can talk forever. But till the next time, folks, probably not same time tomorrow, actually. Nope, can't. But I'll be back on deck soon. Talk to you.